What are some other examples of tools that you would use to calm your child? Or, if they're in, let's just say, because so many people have kids that are very anxious. I think
Yeah.
anxiety, as you even said, is like so wildly common. So what are a couple of tools that you could share with other people that would be helpful for those?
If you're a parent, you have a kid who has a lot of anxiety. A good thing to ask them is, when you're anxious, where do you feel it in your body? Do you feel it in your stomach? Do you feel it in your chest? What are the signs? Because our bodies give us signals that we are starting to get anxious, for example, before we maybe really recognize that, right? So if you notice that your heart is starting to beat faster when you're starting to get anxious, okay, so what are some things that we can do? We can take deep breaths. We can move our bodies. So I would say I would have a parent talk to their kid about what are they physically feeling when they're feeling anxious, and then what are the tools? Taking deep breaths, taking a break, you know, going to a different room, getting a drink of water, counting to 10. If you have a kid who is having a major panic attack, a really good grounding exercise is, you can do it a few different ways, but you can say, okay, tell me 5 things that you can see in this room. Okay.
Mm,
I can see the pens on the desk. I can see the computer. I can see the light, whatever. What are 5 things that you can hear? What are 5 things that you can feel? I can feel my sweater on my body. I can feel my legs, my feet on the floor. And just kind of bringing them back into the present moment can help diffuse some of that anxiety. Um, and I would tell parents to never like say, "Oh, you're fine." Like,
hmm
"Oh, like that's you're being silly. There's no reason to be worried about that." Like
Hmm.
that's never gonna happen, because to your kid, that is a real thing. Like, they are really, really worried about that. Um, but trying to reason with them in that moment is not going to work. So you got to
Yeah.
kind of get them to a point where and sometimes you don't have that conversation even till the next day. I like to tell parents, car rides are the best time to get to talk to your kids, because
They
they are
are.
literally trapped. You are in a moving vehicle and you cannot get out. So that is the best time you have a captive audience to have those conversations. Like, if you guys got in a fight the night before, once all everyone's settled down and cooled off, that a car is a great time to have a conversation
Yeah, I agree.
with
And I
your
actually
kid.
heard the car is a great place for those conversations because you're side by side and not
Hmm.
making eye contact.
Yeah, I heard
Yep.
that too.
And they kind of like that better.
Yeah.
It's more comfortable.